Be teaching you about the zero division error, and this is very simple. So we have to first learn about exception handling, which is when we have to handle about exceptions, which are like errors, but it is from our side, like it is an error on our side, so we call it an exception, and we have to actually make our code navigate through this exception so our code doesn't produce any errors like this, and it looks more clean. So it's like try, which is our first keyword, which means try this experiment, and say that let me just name a variable here. A is equal to 3. A is equal to a divided by 0. And then I'm gonna accept, meaning by I say that that's an exception, and you're gonna say that this is a zero division error, and what you're going to do is whatever I say in this body or text, you're going to have to do it. And I could say something such as okay. So let's say it prints okay. Or I could do something called pass. So let's say I say 0 divided by 0. Now this is really important for you guys. So this is going to be a zero division error. So I'm actually going to have to fit this inside of this and actually get my compiler to understand what I'm actually trying to say. About the value error exception, and the value error exception is basically, let me just show you. I got to PyCharm. Let me just erase this. So let's just say something such as uh, let's say that a is not equal to 3. Let's assign it a string value, and what could that be? That this string value could be anything. It could be such as something such as I am learning machine learning, and so should you. Now this raises excitement and everything. I really do not care right now, but the basic purpose about this is that it's basic. It just tells you about a string value. But what if I said and when I run this, it obviously shows an error about value error. And this is basically that the function that I use, which is the int function, which basically gets any number and and converts it into an integer value, and it says that you can't do that. Even this would be an error, but something such as great would not be an error. But you get the point. So let's actually try to do something about this. Let's try this exception, and we're going to tab it, and we're going to accept this exception, and we're going to add a value error on it, and we're going to let it do nothing, so it does nothing. So this basically tells us that the value error is an exception which allows me to actually let a function not do anything if it's a wrong parameter or argument. the keyword interrupt error, which is a basic error. So I will, let me just go to Chrome. The keyword error or the keyword interrupt is basically when the user hits the interrupt key, which means I can stop a program. So let's say a is equal to 3 while a is less than 4. I could print it. Now this goes and becomes an infinite loop. And now when I stop this, it's gonna be a keyword interrupt error. Now, how am I gonna fix this? So I'm gonna say try is, so I'm gonna copy and paste this code into this. And I'm gonna accept this exception, accept keyboard interrupt has. So it actually does not do anything. And now the amazing thing about this is that if I interrupt it or do any exception, then the compiler does not pump out those huge red lines.